at it. We back at it, chat. Man, and today turned out pretty good. And the track is not even wet, which is great. After all that rain, so it's just all good. As we back training, we back running. We had basically a 3-day off day. Saturday. Yeah, 3 days off. We had 3 days off, and guess what? That's what we needed. 3 days off, which was all good. So yeah, man, came back today on Tuesday and ran like never before. Pretty good run. As I can say, 3 miles done. Now we on this walk down. This is the 195th episode of the walk down. And I think we need to start back naming them as, when I get through running, I just, try to come up with a quick title and just go on and go, because I really don't want to take no breaks in between the run and the walk. I want to keep it going. Also, I think that instead of going to the gym at night, we're going to, I'm going to do my running, I'm going to do my walking. I think I'm going to rest a little bit. And then we're going to go and we're going to do the gym workout pretty much around 3 o'clock. Hey, what's up, ATM Tim? How you doing, bro? Right around 3 o'clock. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Instead of working out at night, because it'd be too packed in that gym. And around about 2 o'clock, it's pretty much empty. Around this time, nobody's in there. But around 7, 8 o'clock, everybody's in there. But when back in October, nobody was in the gym. Just seemed like, well, that gym is a new gym, so wasn't nobody in there. But now we in March, and 7, 8 o'clock, there's a lot of people in there. And for what I be trying to do, I be trying to superset, and get out of there. And a lot of those guys that be in the gym, I know y'all see me sometime when I'm in there. A lot of those guys, they what they do is they be on the phone, they sit on the machine like it's a couch, like really, really, really lazy. Instead of getting in and getting out, they be trying to holler at the girls. They thirsty in there behind the women, and the women in there is thirsty behind the guys. And it's just, it's creating a clusterfuck. You know what I'm saying? So for what I be trying to do, I'm supersetting, right? So I superset, then I come down, I talk to the chat for about 15 seconds or maybe 30 seconds, then I'm right back on it. I don't sit and get on the phone and sit on the phone for 5 minutes like some of those guys do off up in there. Like, golly, are you here to work out, or are you here just to act like that you on your couch or something? It's weird that the guys do that. They sit on the machine for 5 minutes. I know y'all probably done peeped that out a few times, and I did call it out a few times when I do go to that gym. Like the guys, then they wonder why they're not in shape. You know what I'm saying? I mean, God, come on. How you expect to get in shape? How you expect for your body to change and your health to get better if you are pussyfooting on the machine? And we got 42 people in the building. What's up, chat? Appreciate y'all for joining. I need y'all to do me a favor and double tap the screen to activate the like button. This is season 3, episode 195 of the walk down. And yes, guys, it's like yesterday morning, those prices on that gas, the oil prices went up to 101. But then, bro, when Donald Trump came out and said that the war's over, man, it dropped. And then, remember I said I was gonna go look? The gas prices didn't go up. They remained the same at $3 a gallon where I'm at. They remain the same. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen over the next couple of days. But I know when that oil prices went up to 101, and then as soon as Donald Trump said that, the oil prices started dropping immediately. See, they waiting on I can't remember the name of the river. I'm gonna just call it a river. They're waiting on that river that's backing up the oil tankers. They waiting on that to open back up. And Trump said today that they are in negotiations to getting that back open so the tankers could come through. That's what's clogging it up right now. The war is whatever's going on out there with the war, that those oil tankers are unable to come through and get to where they need to go. So it causes the oil prices to go up and the gas prices to go up. So but the thing that I was also listening to is that will there be some kind of strong arming at that river? You know, because from what I remember, Iran controls that river. So in order for those tankers to come through, it's gonna probably have to be some military action, some strong arming action. That's the interpretation I got from it today, which was amazing, which was crazy to hear. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? Donald Barber 99, appreciate you for joining me. Appreciate y'all for joining me. We got 56 people in the building. I thank y'all for joining me on this walk down. I just ran 3 miles. Now I'm gonna walk another 1.25 miles. It's not gonna be a long one. I'm not gonna go an hour. I'm not gonna just start running at the mouth. I'm gonna try my best to stop it at 1.25 miles. So I gotta go all the way around and make it back to where we just started from. Because we are 6 minutes in. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So hopefully they get all this stuff situated, because what we have to know is that Donald Trump controls all of this globally. If you don't believe me, just go check out my short that I made. The American, not just Donald Trump, but any American president, what they say, it really, really dictates what goes on around the world. Because the Asian market, if you watch the American market and the Asian market, well, when Donald Trump said that the war is soon to be over, the Asian markets over there, overseas, skyrise. In other words, they had a big volume of buyers, everybody buying the dip. So if you had a chance to buy the dip yesterday, I'm talking about long-term investing. If you had a chance to buy the dip yesterday, congratulations. Congratulations. If you had the chance to buy that dip. Even though, in my opinion, I thought that the dip was gonna go a little bit lower. But when Donald Trump said that this war is just about over with, a big recovery happened. So everybody that bought that dip during this whole week of bad news, congratulations. Congratulations. Hope y'all are building y'all portfolios up. That's what I'm hoping, chat. Hoping everybody's building their portfolios up for long term. For long-term investing. That's how it works. You know, you buy the dips. You buy the dips. You buy the dips. And you hold. You know, that's the goal. That's the main goal. You know, and we have to understand that. So a lot of people got a lot of good discounts with what happened this whole week with this oil and war mix up. You know, so capitalize when you can capitalize. That's why it's so great to have a brokerage app on your phone, because you could be out doing what I'm doing right now and automatically get in on a dip while I'm, exercising or walking and talking. I can pull out my other phone. If I get an alert, I can pull out my phone and say, oh, okay, this is the price I'm trying to get in at. Boom, boom, bam, pull the trigger. And keep on moving like right now. And don't even worry about it. Long as, you have all your due diligence and you got everything ready to rock and roll. Because you got to know the companies that you're aligning yourself with. That's why it's very important. And I always say, you have to buy the companies that you already know, like, and trust. Because once you do that, you already got 75% of the work already done, because You a product of the product, like an Apple phone, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. We on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Those are good. The S&P 500, which covers all that. And that's what we got to realize. You know, it's really it's hard, but then it's simple at the same time. Because you can't make it complicated. That's why you gotta focus on the things you already know, you already like, and you already trust. That's how it goes. And then the rest of the stuff, because you got a phone, you can take an hour, and kind of educate yourself on what's really going on what's really happening. That's why it's very, very important, and that's what we got to realize. These are the days and times of investing with so much going on. And it's so easy these days to invest. Take it from the OG. Because I remember as a time, a lot of you old investors probably remember too, when you had to go to the newspaper and you had to call the broker. Nowadays, everything is on this phone. So in my opinion, nobody should be not participating in this great stock market. And that's just what it is. It's just so easy. It's so easy to educate yourself. It's so easy to get involved. It's very, very simple. It's easy now. You don't have to look at the paper. You don't have to call nobody on the phone. All you gotta do is go on your phone, do a little bit of research. And most of the research you already know, because we already use these products. And we already know, most of the people already know about Amazon, already know about Google, shout out to YouTube, already know about Apple, already know about Microsoft, already know about Tesla, already know about NVIDIA and AI and all these different companies, So we got to keep that in mind. The hardest part is programming your mind. That's the hardest thing, is to program your mind, because, if you're not known to be an investor, you got to program your mind to get into an investor's mindset, because majority of us are in a consumer's mindset, not in a investor's mindset. And a lot of times you have to change that through the renewing of your mind, through your subconscious mind, and then understand it's for long term. That's what we got to understand. It's for long term. Okay. I don't know what that was. But yeah, we got 63 people in the building. I appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. And man, Donald Trump has electrified us and gave us some kind of hope that this war that we've been talking about all week is going to be over. Let me see what that comment said. Let's see. Let me see. Hi, let's change mode into traditional dance and transform new era robotic. I cheat the scammer. There are requests, 5K, but I just gave $1. Okay. Hi, let's change. Okay. I guess, let me see. I guess so. You're trying to say somebody scammed you or tried to scam you or something. I don't know. But you can't spam the chat like that. That's not cool. That's not cool. And I know when I be walking and exercising, I don't really be paying attention that much to the chat. I just be walking and exercising and talking and paying attention to my surroundings, because you got to pay attention to your surroundings these days. So yeah, guys, how y'all doing out there, chat? We are 15 minutes in on this lockdown. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Did the gas in y'all area go up 60 to 70 cents? In my area, it was at 220, and then it went up to $3. It went up 80 cents in my area. So let me know in the chat, did your gas go up over 50 cents in your city? Let me know. I'm doing good, bro. Hey, what's up, ATM Tim? Yeah, let me know, chat, did the gas go up over 50 cents in your area? In my area, it went up 80 cents from 220 to $3, which was surprising. Because you know, all this war stuff, it kind of just came out of nowhere, because a lot of us were thinking that the gas prices was gonna go up under $2. That's what we were talking about, like what, a month ago, chat, month and a half ago? We was excited that gas was gonna get up under $2. And some people were saying it was gonna go under $1. Now we back up to $3, just like that, 80 cents here in Houston. Hey, what's up, KC? I'm in Houston too. So yep, see? I'm in Houston too, 80 cents. We in the same city. Yeah, I'm in Houston too. Yeah, it went up 80 cents. Yep. Gas went up a couple days ago. It was around 358. Woo! Man. See, that's with me being a retired truck driver, chat, that's how I gauge everything. Because I know if fuel go up, everything else is gonna rise too. You know, because transportation, those are the people that gotta bring it to the stores. You know, from the shipyard, from the warehouses, from the logistics centers. Those, you know, so when fuel go up, especially that type of jump, and it continues to go up, it's gonna automatically go straight to the stores. That's how I gauge when stuff is gonna go up by fuel. Yeah, that's crazy. Yesterday, good thing we got that good news that the war was about to get ready to end, and the price of oil went back down, because at the height of yesterday, when we was on the live, yesterday morning, when I was at the desk, the price of oil went up to 101. And then that's when Trump came out and said that the war is about to be over, and all of a sudden it started dumping back down. I think it's around 70 right now. I haven't looked at it today, but I know the last time I looked at it, it came down to around 70. So, man, if that announcement wouldn't have came out, ain't no telling. I believe the gas would have went up another 20, 30 cents overnight. So right now it's holding $3 in Houston. Right now it's holding right around $3. So that's, hopefully, you know, this thing is really over with, because, you know, the president said that once the war is over, that his opinion, and he's saying that the price of gas is going to go way up under what it was, you know, before this war started. The good news, man, I be loving good news. Yeah, me too. I be loving the good news, especially when you are in the position. You know, when you are in the right position, and then good news comes. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's exactly what I like. And that's what we all got to understand. When it's fear, that's when it's time to make a move. You know, when it's fear and a lot of fear and a lot of negativity, that's when it's time to make a move. Because one thing we know, what comes after that. You know what I'm saying? It's always positivity always come after that. You know, long as you have the patience, long as you have the patience and understand that it's long term. Once you understand that and you program your subconscious mind that it's long term, then you'll be ready to rock and roll. Then you start looking at things a little bit differently. Then you start looking at, these type of moves, you start looking at it as discounts. Like a 5-finger discount, 50% off, 30%, you start going shopping. Instead of shopping for Jordans, instead of shopping for Polo and Hilfiger, you'll be waiting for an opportunity to go shopping. Like we had a great opportunity to go shopping all week long. And now, boom, just like that, the tables have turned, just by one word, one sentence that the president said, just by one sentence, changed the whole game, changed the whole thing around. And that's why it's so important. It's so very, very important to understand. That's why it's very important to pay attention. That's why voting is so important. You got some people that say voting is for suckers. Well, we know that they're not in the game. Once you tell me voting is for suckers, then I know you're not in the game. You know what I'm saying? But then we got to get you in the game. We got to get your thinking straight and understand voting is very important. And all this stuff revolves around who's in office, who are making the laws, who's putting the policy together. It all, goes hand in hand, and it all goes together. And that's what we got to understand. That's why it's very important that you got to watch who you surround yourself with. Especially these days, you got to watch very closely. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be socializing with some people that's not really, that's 40 and act like they 20, or 50 and act like they 15, and you'll be missing a whole lot of information and knowledge and wisdom and understanding that could take you and your family to a whole nother level. Because this is the perfect opportunity, for people to change the whole trajectory of their family. It's perfect timing. And what's so beautiful about it is that we got the unlimited teacher, which is this internet. You know what I'm saying? This internet is so very, very powerful. So the internet is the ultimate teacher. You know what I'm saying? You can learn everything, any and everything, just by you on YouTube. You can learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so great about this. You got basically a computer in your hand. I'm an older guy. You know what I'm saying? So we had to do a lot of, when it comes to trading in the stock market, it was no apps, was no cell phone. So it was a little bit difficult to pull the trigger. You got to look in the newspaper. You got to do your research in the newspaper. You got to make a phone call to the broker and all this crap. But nowadays, you got everything right here on this phone. It's simple, and that's what I want to keep talking about on this channel, because we're in the time right now with everything that's going on. We got a time right now where you could go from nothing to something really, really fast with all these cryptos, with all these great companies, with all this AI and all this stuff that's basically brand new still. We're kind of like in a whole nother element. AI is just like the dot-com bubble when I was young. A lot of you older guys remember when the internet first came out. And that's what we're going through right now, a whole nother era. It's called artificial intelligence. And a lot of people feel about AI like we felt about the internet. The internet was new, e-commerce, and all this stuff was new. And it took us a little time to comprehend to what was moving and what was going on. And that's kind of happening right now. But the only thing is that the difference is with this internet, people are more smarter because you basically got a computer in your hand. So people are more educated, because one thing about this internet is for learning. That's the reason why it was uh, that's why it was created. It was created to learn and to teach and to educate. That's why all this was created. It wasn't created for bullshit and bubblegum. It was created to learn and to teach. It's a computer. That's exactly what it is. So that's the mentality that we have to have, and that's the mentality you have to teach to your kids and grandkids, that this internet, this phone, this tablet is for learning, and education. If you're not learning, if you're not being educated, you're not finna have this phone. You have to be learning and education. Okay? You have to be learning and teaching. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to do. And when it comes to this phone and this internet, you gotta program it to your kids like that. You know, because this internet wasn't created for drama. It wasn't. It wasn't created for mess. It wasn't created for arguing and fighting on the internet. It wasn't created for that. It was created to search information about learning and about teaching. That's what it's about. And once you understand that, and once you program your mind, and once you program your kids to that situation, that hey, you're not getting on this tablet unless you are learning and you're getting educated. And once you're not learning and getting educated, then you want entertainment, go outside and play basketball. That's entertainment. Go watch what is it? Go watch the baseball game. Go watch the NCAA tournament that's about to start next week. Go outside and go play. That's your entertainment. In my opinion, chat, the internet is not for entertainment. Forget what they say. A lot of people gonna say, yeah, it is for entertainment, Stock Sniper. No, it's not. It's not to entertain you. It's to educate you and to educate your kids and your grandkids. That's what it's for. I don't want to be entertained all the time. Why, Stock Sniper? Because life is not a game, bro. Life is not fun and games all day long. It's so many people these days. All they want is to be entertained. No, I don't want to be entertained 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm sorry. I want to learn. I want to learn. And I want to tell the people what I've learned. You know, I don't want to be entertained. If I want to be entertained, I cut on Netflix. If I want to be entertained, I'll go to the zoo, which is over there. If I want to be entertained, I'll come play golf. That's what I do. That's what I do. So I'm not on here to entertain. I'm not a clown. I'm not a bozo. If I want to be a clown and a bozo, I'll go to the circus. So we gotta understand that. But they want us to think so much. Entertainment. No. Entertainment, I have your mind off of the prize. Take it from the OG. Always want to be entertained. Will have your mind off the prize, and your mind to be programmed to always be entertained. No, I don't want to be always entertained. I want to learn, and I want to teach, and I want to build. But is it the big E? I don't know what the big E is. You got to let me know. What is the big E? 3 random words. Mark Preston, so right. Mark Preston, hey, what's up, Mark Preston? Thank y'all for joining me. But it is the big E. What is the big E? 3 ransom. You know I'm an old man. You got to let me know. I don't think I know everything, so you got to let me know. I don't know what the big E is. Is that some kind of street name or something? I don't know. Who is Big E? I got a homeboy that we call Big E. He's over there on MLK right now. What he doing over there on MLK, Stock Sniper? He's over there bumming for a cigarette, bumming for a beer, talking about what he did in 1980. That's the only Big E I know. He's over there on MLK right now, bumming for a cigarette and want somebody to buy him a 40 ounce of Old English. and talking about what he did in 1980. That's what he's talking about right now. Hey, brother, I just subscribed. Oh, thank you for the subscription. K Soch 77. Thank you for subscribing. We're getting close, guys. Thank you for reminding me, K Cost 77. We're getting close, guys. What are we getting close to, Stock Sniper? We're getting close to the 10K subs. We're getting close to 10K subs. What's going to happen once we get the 10K subs, Stock Sniper? Number one, we're doing Cash App giveaways, subscriber only mode. We're doing Cash App giveaways. Once we get around 10,050, we have to clear the 10,000 because some people are going to unsubscribe. So I want to make sure that we over the 10K. So once we get to 10,050, something around there, we're going to do three things. And one of them is we're going to do Cash App giveaway. You must have Cash App or Zelle. Number two, we're changing the name of the channel. And then number three, we're going to start bringing people up. I got this streaming service. I got all the bells and whistles of this streaming service, chat, and I have not been using it. So once we get to 10,050, Cash App giveaway or Zelle, subscriber only mode. Number two, we're changing the name of the channel. And number three, we're going to start bringing people up, 5 or 6 people at a time. I want to start talking to some of you guys. I'm tired of doing all the talking. I said it. I'm tired of doing all the talking. So I want to start pulling some of you guys up, 5 or 6 people at a time. No debates, no arguing, just grown-ups having grown-up conversations. That's what I want to do. That's what we're going to do, chat. Thank you, K77, for reminding me. Because when I get talking, I get to run in my mouth. But that's what we're going to do. We're closing in, chat. The goal was to get to the 10,000 in February, but we didn't reach the goal. Sometimes that happens. You make goals, you know what I'm saying, and you don't hit your goal, you can't get discouraged. You just got to keep pushing. So we're going to hit this 10K sometime this month. We didn't hit the goal. We were on pace to hit it for February, but it didn't happen. We wanted to hit it for the 2-year anniversary that we really been taking YouTube serious, and it didn't happen. So we can't sweat that. We can't sweat that. We put the work in. We did everything we needed to do, but we just didn't get the goal in February. But hey, long as God keep waking us up, we're going to get to that goal. And that's just what it is. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, I need all 50 people right now to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I need y'all to do that right now. If you like the stream, if you like what I'm saying, if you like this great outside park, beautiful place. KC, you say you from Houston. You should know exactly where I'm at. So yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel and cut on all notification bells so you'll know when we go live. And guess what, guys? March Madness is about to come up. And yes, we having this. Guys, last year, if you was on the channel, we went to the Final Four. This year, the Sweet 16 is right here in Houston. And guess what? We're going to be at the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, which will be probably in a couple of more weeks, whenever this Final Four get to going. And we're hoping that the U of H, the University of Houston, is back in the mix. Last year, if you was on the live, I went live from the game. We went to San Antonio. If you was on the channel, you was with us. We went to San Antonio, and we came up short. The University of Houston Cougars, go Cougs, came up short against Florida last year in the finals. And if you was on the live, we was there live. This year, the Sweet 16 is being held in Houston, and we will be there live. We will be there live. So get ready for that, get ready for that, get ready for that. We just praying to the basketball gods that U of H beat in that Sweet 16 and that Elite 8, heading to another Final Four. This time we hoping we can take it all. This time we hoping we can take it all, chat. So yeah, chat, we will be going live. March Madness is here. And y'all know, if you've been on the channel, we react to all the games. And that's what's going on. So if you're a sports fan, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're a UFC fan, we also do that. We just hung out the other Saturday for a UFC. One of my old training partners, Charles Oliveira, was on the card. He's the BMF now. My old training partner. I trained many, many years with old Charles Oliveira and them boys at Gold MMA. Shout out to them. So, but yes, we had a good time Saturday night. I'd like to thank everybody that came and hung out with us on Saturday night. What's up, Damn Media? What's up, the Don? Appreciate you for joining. We are over the 1.25 miles. I said I wasn't gonna do it, chat. It's been raining out here, but the track is real, real good. Really, really good. So we're gonna make it around to the corner over here. You know, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Man, I wouldn't be this. I'm in super good shape, chat. And it's because of this walk down and y'all that come rock with me. I couldn't thank y'all enough. I couldn't thank y'all enough. Yeah, I'm in really, really good shape, guys. I'm at the peak right now. You know, if I get any better, they would call me Superman. I said it. If I get any better, any stronger, any faster, if my energy goes to another level, they're going to call me Superman at 50 years old. Yes, at 50 years old. And I owe all that to the chat, to the channel. Because guess what? I ran 3 miles. Now I'm at about 1.5 miles walking on this walk down, 37 minutes in. And this is the walk down. And this represents I stay in my own lane and I mind my own business. And life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And this is the Freedom of Speech channel. And I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Well, you could come to the chat and be yourself. You could come to the chat and disagree with the host. You could come to the chat and put in your stock picks. You could come to the chat and give me your favorite investment. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my other phone, which is right here, and I'm going to look it up and do a little bit of research. And guess what? And if it's something sweet, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull the trigger from right here on the outside gym. That was so great about this internet. I love it. I love the internet. And that's why I tell everybody, make sure you're using this internet for the right things. Please make sure of that. Make sure you got your kids on this internet to learn. Not for bullshit and bubblegum, but to learn. And if they want to be entertained, tell them to go outside. That's what you tell them to do. Tell them to go to the park and go play. That's what you do. Don't let them roam on this internet freely. Don't do it. In my opinion, like my grandkids don't have a phone. And they 10 and 11 years old and don't have a phone because it's all kind of bad influences on this internet. It's a lot of bad influences. And guess what? My grandkids ain't getting no phone till they turn 18 years old. And that's just what it is. They are not getting a phone until they're 18. That's where we at in life. With all this stuff that's going on, it's easily for somebody to come and manipulate your kids and grandkids unless you paying attention to them 24 hours a day. And guess what? That's just about impossible to do. You got to go to work. You got to provide. You got to do all these certain type of things. And it's not good to have those kids, you know, just by themselves doing whatever they want to do on this internet where they got parental control. All that stuff don't matter. You know, it's ways around parental control. There's ways around it. It's people on this internet that's supposed to be kids, supposed to be It's supposed to, when you put it on 18 and over, and kids come in the chat. So that stuff ain't accurate. The best way to protect your kids is don't let them be on this internet. Only if you are watching. You know, you teach them how to use it, but don't give them no phone for themselves. Don't do it. And these days, you just about have to homeschool your kids. Straight up, you really do. You just about have to homeschool them because it's getting kind of difficult to trust people these days. You know, you want your kids to, especially if you're doing what you're supposed to do in life, and you all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. You want to make sure that you are your kid's mentor. You want to make sure of that. And everybody, whoever you put in their life, is a system. You know, and it's all the same. If you got a kid and you put them in football, well, you know the coach. You know what I'm saying? You know the teacher. You know the doctor. That's what it has to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what it used to be in the 80s and the 90s. We knew, our parents knew the pastor. Our parents knew the coach. Our parents knew the doctor. We just about was family, just about like family. You know, you're not going over there. If they got different rules, you're not going there. No, you're not going over there. I don't care what you say. If you go over there, that means that the same rules we got, the same rules they got. And it's all gonna work together. That's how it works, Chad. We gotta pay close attention to these kids, bro. We have to, especially on this internet, because there's a lot of weirdos on the internet. It's a lot of them, and it's more of them than you think not. You know, it's a lot of them. You know, once they find out, you know what I'm saying, that it's some they can come in between you and your kid, they will do it, and they will lead them off to the wolves. We got to understand that. So you got to make sure from when your kid is born that you got a system in place, you know, and you got to realize what the system is, and you got to bring them up like that. That's just how it goes. You know, I know I kind of went another direction, but that's just what it is, Chad. We got to protect these kids because it's a lot of weirdos on the internet, and there's a lot of people on this internet that they've been raised, they've been in dysfunction so long that, and they're so savvy that they'll, you know, take your kid, your boy, your son or your daughter, you know, and just by being on the internet and be able to communicate with them on this phone, you thinking that they're watching Tom and Jerry, and they're actually talking to somebody that's trying to lead them to the wrong direction. You got to understand that. It's a lot of dysfunctional weirdos on this internet. You know, the internet can be a dangerous, bad place, chat. Now, the internet can be a dangerous place. That's why it's very, very important, you know, to monitor what your kids doing. You only own this tablet for educational purposes, and that's it. And that's all. And as far as if you're a kid, you know what I'm saying, or if you're somebody that's sleeping on your mama's couch, you have no time for entertainment. You know, your daily schedule should be working and educating yourself. That should be the daily schedule. Everything else revolves around that. Praying to God, making sure you're taking care of your health, and educating yourself and working. Some people don't deserve to be on this internet. You know, they really don't. You know, it got 50 years old people my age that sleeping on their mama's couch. You know, it's people that's like that. And they come on the internet, you know, and they real savvy, and they come on this internet and they target certain type of people. So you gotta really, really be careful. And they savvy, you know. But they are full of they are full of negativity. And you got to realize that. You can have a 16, 15-year-old son or daughter. You know, if you ain't paying attention to what they doing and you ain't really raising them and you ain't spending time with them, because a lot of these parents are on the internet too. Instead of them trying to raise their kids, they on the internet. You know, so thank God my kids are grown. In this era, my kids are grown. Yep, I'm glad. 'Cause it's hard raising kids in this internet era. It really is. So shout out to the parents out there that are raising kids in 2026, especially if they 10, 8, 12, 15. Shout out to them. Shout out to the parents that homeschool their kids. Shout out to the parents that's not letting their kids have a phone. A phone is not a phone anymore. A phone is a computer. Shout out to all the parents that are not letting their kids have these computers in their hand. Shout out to them. No matter what. Somebody say, well, man, your kid ain't got a phone and they 12. No, they don't. It's kind of equal to when we was younger, having your own phone in your room, having a house phone. Before it was the cell phone, everybody wanted to have their own house phone in their room. That was the thing. You know, to have your own, everybody, most of the kids in the school, you know, instead of everybody having cell phones like now, when I was in school, the thing was having a phone in your room, you know, a house phone in your room. So not only did your parents have the regular house phone, but you had your own personal phone in your room where your friends can call with. That was the big thing when I was in school, you know. But now it's the big thing is the cell phones and these computers that's in your hand. And you have to, in my opinion, I would not let my kid have a phone until they turn 18. Or unless they show they super responsible. Because you know they do have kids that are 15 years old, 16, that are more responsible than a 50-year-old man. So you gotta know your kid, you know, you gotta know. But as far as them having a phone or a computer in their hand, nope, not doing it. So yeah, and that's what it is. So yeah, I'm talking today, chat. We got 30 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm on the outside gym. We've walked almost 2.5 miles. 3-mile run, 2.5-mile walk. That's where we at right now, almost 2.5. But this is what it is out here, chat. This is the outside gym. And what's so good about it, you can think. You know, it's good for your mental health. I would advise everybody, you don't have to, you know, run in marathons like I do. You don't have to run 3 miles and run 8 miles and all this kind of stuff. All right, just go outside and a nice, beautiful day like this and just walk, you know, and think. You know, it's good for your mental health. You know, it keeps you sharp. It keeps you in shape. You know what I'm saying? It's great on your mental health because they want us, chat. I say this a lot, and this is very important. They want our minds to think short term. They want us anxious. You know, they want us to be anxious. That's why they got reels and shorts. They want our attention span to be 30 seconds. They want our attention span to be 3 minutes. They don't want you sitting on a live like this for an hour. They don't. But at some time, what's another word that I'm trying to use? They want us to not be patient. They want us to be, you know, anxious and rushing. But good thing about walking, it relaxes your mental health. It's actually a good medication for attention disorder. You know, they want your attention to be off. They don't want you paying attention. That's what reels and shorts are all about. You know, your attention span. They don't want you paying attention to nothing. They want your kids not paying attention to nothing. And then guess what they do? What do, Stock Sniper? And then they come up and say your kid is ADHD because they've been programmed not to have attention span. It's short. Or they don't go outside. That's another big thing. That's one thing about young boys that don't go outside. Once you're a kid and you're not used to going outside, like you always on the phone, you never outside walking, you never go to the park, all you do is sit in the house. Well, that kid, eventually that boy is gonna start jumping all over the place. He's gonna, do you wonder, man, why he won't sit down? You know, he won't sit down because he's not going outside and play. You gotta take these kids outside. You gotta make them, you gotta play basketball with them. Run, walk with them like that family is doing right there. You gotta take your kids to a park like this and walk and talk, you know, and then you'll see, you know, then they won't be able to say your kid got ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, okay, their kids be 3, 4, and 5 years old, and then they don't go outside. They give them the tablet, right? This is pretty much what's going on in America. They give them the tablet at a young age, and they let them watch YouTube cartoons for a long time. And then when it's time to go to school, the little boy is not used to playing. He's not used to going nowhere. All he's used to doing is being on the phone or the tablet. So now he's addicted to that. So when you get him to go to school, he's gonna act like you took the dog off the chain. And that's just how it goes. And when he get off that, when he finally go to school and he's around other kids and he's around these teachers, well, if he's not used to going outside, because when you're a little boy, you got to let out energy. You got to let that energy go because you got high levels of testosterone inside of your body. You got to let that go. And you only let that go by playing as a little boy. So they go to these schools, and then when they get out of school, they go home and get right back on the phone. I know kids that when they get out of school, they don't go play. They stay in the house and they stay on the tablet or the phone all day long and all night. I know parents that the only way they can discipline their kids, tell them I'm gonna take your phone and make you go outside. That's reversed on how it's supposed to go. Like when I didn't wash the dishes, I didn't take out the trash. You know what I'm saying? I didn't cut the grass. Well, my parents told me, you can't go outside. If I made bad grades, you're punished. You got to stay in the house till your next report card period. Well, these days, it's flipped. The kids don't want to go outside. They want to stay in the house. And then when they finally get out, they got so much energy built up. What happens is they go to school and they start not listening. They don't listen to the teacher. You know, they want to run out of the classroom. They have a lot of energy built up. Can't nobody tell them nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not used to no structure. Only structure they know is to watch cartoons on YouTube, on the tablet. That's all they know. I know some of y'all on this chat probably see this all the time. When you go out in public, you go to the doctor's office or you go somewhere, you see kids, all they have is their phone and the tablet, and they 4 and 5 years old. And if the parent take the tablet, the kid is gonna start crying, gonna throw a fit, so the parent gotta give them back the tablet. So the parent is not raising the kid, the tablet is raising the kid. And that's how it goes. And at the same time, the parent is also on Instagram. And that's how it works. That's why I'm a firm believer. Kids don't need no phone. They don't need no tablet. Now, only way you can get that, you got to show a huge amount of discipline and maturity, or you turn 18 years old. That's how it gotta work. And that's my opinion. Well, we 54 minutes in, chat. This been a pretty decent walk down, covered a lot of different things. a lot of different things. You know, that's what we do on here. Cause me, I wanted to be 30 minutes, but hey, I got to talking about other things, and they call me Jimmy Olsen. Oh, I don't know who is Jimmy Olsen. Y'all keep saying these names, but not telling me who these people are. Who is Jimmy Olsen? Who is Big E? Only Big E I know is the one that's on MLK right now, sitting on the crate in front of that store, asking for a cigarette and a 40 ounce of OE. Talking about what happened in 1980. That's the only Big E I know. And I know he's not on here. I know that for a fact. They call me Jimmy Olsen. Let me look up who Jimmy Olsen is. See, I gotta see who is Jimmy Olsen. That's what I'm about to look up, chat. Jimmy Olsen. I don't know who he is, chat, so don't judge me. Jimmy Olsen. This is Jimmy Olsen. Okay. See what I'm saying? I just learned something. He's a cartoon character. That's who Jimmy Olsen is. Just learned something. I guess you was being funny, James, because I was talking about all they want to do is watch cartoons. They let y'all know I don't watch cartoons, bro. I don't watch cartoons. You know, some people watch anime, which is fine if that's what you do. Some people are into anime and all those type of stuff. I'm not into that. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, chat. I thank y'all, I thank y'all, I thank y'all, because this is great for my health. This is great for my mental health. This is great for my physical health. And it's great for my spiritual health, because I like doing this. I like people like James Creek coming in and saying they call him Jimmy Olsen, which I had no idea who Jimmy Olsen was. So I learned something, you know, which is what that's what this is about. You know, we older guys, you know, maybe some other older guys didn't know who Jimmy Olsen was, but we found out. Now, if it matters or not, that's up to you. But it's always good to learn something new, you know. Thank you, Mr. Stock Sniper. All right, they ain't media. Thank you. But I got to thank y'all, though, because I've gotten in super great shape from this walk down. Specifically this, because I've been doing this the longest. This the third season, and we had, I think, 195 episodes. So we've been doing this for a long time. And I am super physically fit behind this walk down. And I like it. Some of y'all been on here, and I run 8 miles and then walk another 5, just keep on talking and walking. Some of y'all remember that. And when we sign up for another marathon, which for sure, we're gonna be in the Memorial Day marathon for the soldiers and the veterans. We're doing that marathon for sure. So we're gonna crank up the miles again, chat. Where we running 8 miles a day, 6 miles a day, and then walking another 4 or 5. So we're gonna get back to that. But we gotta sign up for another marathon. We also got UFC 250 coming up. We thought it was gonna be July the 5th, but it's actually June the 14th. So we will be competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I don't think I'll be ready enough by July the 14th, so I might go give myself a little bit of time. Maybe in July, I might keep it at July. Who knows? It just depends on how my my grappling come along. Cause I haven't like grappled in a long time, and I gotta get back into that mix. And when I go when I go and compete in the tournament, I gotta be ready to rock and roll. So we was anticipating July the 5th, but UFC 250 is June the 14th. So we might have to just adjust it about 3 weeks, you know? So that's why you always gotta be ready. You gotta stay ready, keep from getting ready. That's what my grandpa always told me. Boy, you gotta stay ready, because you never know what might happen. Now that's how he used to say it. But I say stay ready, keep from getting ready. But my grandpa used to say, you gotta stay ready because you never know what might happen. You never know, when you might have to activate. You just never know. So it's always good to stay ready, stay in shape, stay on your pivot at all times, because you never know what might happen. Somebody could jump out the car right now, you know what I'm saying, and try to, attack, which that would be a bad mistake, but you just never know. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you always got to be paying attention to what's going on, especially in 2025. You got to be paying attention to details. That's why your attention has to be on point. That's what's so great about exercising and walking and running. Your attention, you have to be able to pay attention and focus to multiple things at one time. Well, I think that's going to be it, chat. I done ran my mouth enough. I thank y'all for rocking with me. We still got 14 people in the building, which is really, really great. I appreciate y'all for joining me. A lot of people like this walk down, and I like it too. I'm just exercising, staying in my own lane, and I'm minding my own business. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I might go live again tonight from the desk. Really, really don't know. But I think I'm gonna go live again tonight from the desk. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's been rocking with the channel, everybody that's been coming through, I love and I appreciate y'all. Everybody that comments, especially during the walk down, I love and I appreciate y'all, because this walk down is about my health. This walk down is about my health, my mental health, my physical health, and my spiritual health. And with y'all, it makes me keep going. Why does it make you keep going, Stock Sniper? It makes me keep going because I like doing this, and I'm talking to y'all, and I'm going live, and it makes this time go by really quick. I've been live an hour, and it don't seem like it. It seems like I've been on here for about 15 minutes, and that's a good mechanism. That's another key point. If you're exercising, you have to find something that keep your mind off of the work. You got to find something that you love that'll keep your mind off the work. Like, I tried talking on the phone. That didn't work. I tried listening to music. That didn't work. I even tried talking on the phone to the wife. I'm sorry, wife, but that didn't work. The only thing that worked was this, what I'm doing right now. And when I'm doing this, I don't pay attention to nothing but my surroundings and talking to y'all. That's all I pay attention to. And that has made me mentally strong, physically strong. And I love and I appreciate y'all for that. Especially the ones that's been here since I started doing these walk downs. This is season 3, episode right around 195. We're coming up on a whole nother season, which will be season 4. Once we get to 200, that'll be 4 seasons, 50 episodes a season. But I just put them all together to make it simple. So we got 5 more episodes left. Then we're gonna go to season 4. And hopefully by then, because I want to go to a different area, chat. I want to go to a different area because we're doing this area right here for 2 years. Even this area is sentimental to me. It's close to where I live at. It's real convenient. So that's another thing about exercising. You want to exercise somewhere where it's really, really close and convenient to where you live at. And that's what I love about This is a sentimental place. I always wanted to do this ever since I was a little bitty boy. We used to always pass up this place, me and my parents, and I used to say, man, these guys over here playing golf, they supposed to be at work and they playing golf. And when I was a little bitty kid, I always wanted to be in this position. So we are in this position now, and this place is a sentimental place to me. I mean, I love this outside gym. I love the golf course. I just love it. I've been loving it since I was a little bitty kid. I always wondered, why are those people playing golf and they're not at work or not at school? And I found out why. Now I'm the one on the golf course here, not at work and not at school. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Earn, spend less, make proper investments. Teach it to your kids and grandkids. Teach it to the people in your circle. And then come on this internet and teach it to the people around the world. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all chat. To the next one, which will be at the desk. I'm out. Y'all have a great day, chat. I'm out.